My name is Sandy Adomaitis, the social media director for the Page International Screenwriting Awards, and your host for the Writers Hangout, a podcast that celebrates the many stages of writing, from inspiration to the first draft, revising, getting a project made, and everything in between. We'll talk to the best and the brightest in the entertainment industry and create a space where you can hang out, learn from the pros, and have fun. Hi, I'm Sandy Adomaitis.
Hi, I'm Terry Sampson.
Terry.
Yeah.
We have a special guest in the studio today.
Let me look around.
Did you see her?
It's Kathy!
Yay! Kathy has joined us in the studio, and we're so happy. A couple of things for the writers out there, just to let them know. Terry, we mention Kathy like every other episode, don't we? She always comes up.
She's like a third partner.
Yes. And I thought it would be great to have Kathy come in and talk about the strike. Now, Kathy is a production coordinator. Kathy, can you explain what a production coordinator does?
Hi. A production coordinator is a liaison between the producers and the stage, or the UPM.
I know the line producers and the actors all think that everything happens because of them. It is so not true. It is production coordinators. You take care of everything. Everybody walks up to your desk and says, I need to get to stage. I need a PA. I need scripts. I need transpo to do something. They all have to come to you and you coordinate it.
It's where problems go to die.
Exactly. And writers out there, if you have a friend that's a production coordinator, all you ever have to do is like casually mention you're going to go on a trip, and trust me, they will step in and they will take care of it for you. They're the best, right, Tara?
They're the best, and, throw them a free whatever whenever that opportunity comes.
Oh, I bring back a souvenir.
There you go.
But the reason why we have Kathy in the studio today is I wanted to hear about the strike through her eyes. We know that the actors have now gone on out strike with the writers, which, thank goodness, the actors have really given a boost of enthusiasm for the writers. Yes. But Kathy, the writers going on strike, what does that mean for you?
Basically, I'm not working anymore because since they're not writing scripts anymore, there's nothing to produce. So I stopped working at the end of May.
When the writers went on strike, did you get let go right away?
Sort of, yes. I was let go at the end of the week on May 5th.
And who tells you? The UPM? Who
the
tells
studio.
You? The studio.
The studio.
So
the studio informed us that it was our last day.
And now I remember I was working for the showrunner on Sarah and being told that Friday would be my last day. I was prepared for it, but I started to cry. Just having this human being in front of me telling me you may never come back on the lot starting on Friday upset me. How did you feel?
Well, we got an email.
That's really personal.
Very personal. Very personal.
It was addressed to you and everything.
It was addressed to me and everything. And so did all the other people. And our thing got the same exact email. So, yeah, we basically got an email. Our producer went to the studio and basically did get us a little more time.
They did?
Yes.
That is unheard of.
Well, when I say a little more time, it's so that we could wrap things up because you can't
not
just walk away.
Not to extend your insurance.
No, just
to get the work done.
Just to get the work done. It was like a couple more days, that's all. So we did that, and then...
What are your PAs doing right now? Do you know where they are? Are they... They can go on unemployment, right?
Yes, everybody can go on unemployment. The only people who can't go on unemployment are the writers and the actors. Now. And there is a strike fund for the writers and the actors.
But not for...
It's... no, not for...
Below the line is basically...
Yeah, we're on unemployment.
Would you explain what below the line is?
Below the line is... basically the UPM on down. So it'd be like the UPM, an associate producer, any of your grip, electric, set deck.
On the budget,
wardrobe.
Which used to be printed out in paper. Do you remember that, Terry, paper?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. When it was printed out in paper, they would have like the actors and the producers, and then there'd be a thick line across the budget. And that's where below the line came from, listed below the line. It doesn't mean below as in below.
No, because basically it's divided to above the line and below the line, and above the line is the writers and the actors and
the big ticket
items, and below the line is everybody
Is this your first strike?
No, this is my third writer strike.
Wow.
Ooh, 3 strikes and...
3 strikes and...
Yikes.
Retirement.
Can you tell us about the first and second?
The first one, I was a PA, and I'd only been in the business...
Half an hour?
Pretty much a half an hour.
What show?
And Family Ties.
Oh, Family Ties.
Yes. So it was one of those that I was in the business maybe a half hour and I knew it was going on, but I didn't realize how it affected everybody. And I was actually very fortunate as I went to New York as a PA because a bunch of us, like back then, you could be like a courier.
Okay.
And
take things on planes.
Yeah, you could take things on planes from LA to things. So I got my trip paid for, and then a friend had a place that we could stay, so we went there. And that's like I saw more of the New York strike than I did of the LA strike and stuff. So
now, is it more? Is there more tension carrying a script than cocaine?
Yeah.
From place to place?
Yeah.
Where's the frustration?
Yeah.
The fear.
The fear was, okay, I didn't see what was put on the plane. So I was just like, hey, I left the airport, I'm good. No one stopped me, I'm good.
You didn't actually carry it?
No.
It was like put in like
you
on
had to
luggage?
have, you had to have a body.
Contracts? Film? What was it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I mean, this was a business, so it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't part of the industry.
It wasn't part of the industry. It was one of my friends, Barbie,
of course.
Barbie. So Barbie was the one that's like, and I was in the business with, like, she was a PA and stuff like this. So it was a way of that we could go on a trip and not have to pay for it because there was a strike going on.
Right.
So we went there.
What were they striking for?
Back then, health insurance.
That's right. There was no health insurance.
Right. They were fighting for health insurance. And I will say something. I will say this. The show that I will eventually go back to once the strike is over, my showrunner came to talk to us to say, hey, I want to let you know we're really sorry, but we really need to walk out. Like, we need to do this for the future writers and for the future. And he goes, I'll give you an example. He goes, when they went out on strike in, I think it was like 88. Right. When they went out on strike in 88, it was to fight for health insurance because they went out on strike for health insurance in 88. My wife, who I believe she had a type of cancer, we were able to get good health insurance for her based on those writers going out on strike. So it carries forward why, and that's why people do support them because they are fighting for a legitimate reason.
This is one of the most significant set of stuff in front of us. I mean, the AI thing and streaming royalties. This is a really big deal. They really can't back down from this kind of stuff. No. This has to be worked out.
Yes. Especially with the AI and what they want to pay an actor half a day's wage and then utilize that day for the rest of eternity.
Right. They're going to scan
They're going to scan them. They can, and with that scan, the actor has no say in how he or she is represented.
Right. Yeah. So you could be at a Lilith Fair concert in a movie. They scan you. And then 3 years later, you're at a Nazi rally.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, they can put you anywhere.
Have you heard anything, any kind of feeling when it might end or what's going to happen?
Not really. I can just put out that I hope that I don't think anything's going to happen the month of July. I am hoping that in August, other entities step in and
the government
or at least
to negotiate, not to force people to work,
just
but to negotiate.
To say, hey, go back and
will you explain?
Go back to the tables.
One side is not negotiating. One side won't come to the table.
No,
and it's not the actors and it's not the writers.
No,
it's AMPT.
Yeah.
I think there's only like 2 months left and everybody will have seen everything that gets screenable. So they got to be feeling the pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I think the streaming networks are, from what I think I heard this, the streaming networks are going to take some of their shows off the streaming network and put them on the mainstream on like ABC and stuff like that. They're going to put it on there. So they all own it. So they're going to put their streaming information on broadcast TV and network TV.
Now, could that be a little bit dangerous for them? Because if you get a network audience used to the taste of cable, are they going to continue to leave network in droves after the strike? I never watch anything on network. It's always cable. I don't find network all that interesting anymore. Sitcoms I'll watch. But I'm always disappointed in network dramas because they can't do what cable can do. So, Right. So I have completely switched to cable. So now if they go, hey, we're going to get the writers, we're going to put cable on network so people will watch it, but then they're going to get used to higher storytelling. That's kind of the wrong word, but does that make sense? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're saying, but I think that the cable is not cable, but network.
ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox.
I think that it's the younger generation that does the cable and all that other stuff. And so I think it's more for the older generation
that still won't be able
to switch
find
over.
it.
Yeah.
You're saying find it. That's really what you mean.
Yeah. That would be able to find it, meaning, So, but
interesting. Very interesting.
When you can watch something when you don't have to pay for something on a network, and then all of a sudden you have to pay to see their offshoot of something.
Yes.
So why am I paying twice?
Right.
To get different content. And a lot of people, A, can't afford that, and B, it's not ingrained in them to break away.
Right.
To cable.
Right.
I'll just put my 2 cents in here. I put up an antenna about 15 years ago and have just been floored at how beautiful the broadcast looks. I mean, sports on over-the-air TV is remarkable.
Yeah.
It's so I'd like to see the networks go back to being networks. And they can have their little sideshow as well. And when I say little sideshow, probably where all the money is, but or is it? I mean, I don't know.
No, that's where it is.
Well, one of the things we don't know is because the streamings don't tell numbers.
That's going to hopefully change.
Don't know how good things are. And the reasons why they don't tell the numbers is because they don't want the creators to know how successful it is.
And to pay for the residuals.
And to pay for the well, that's the most important, the pay for the residuals. And Netflix is known for this. Have you ever noticed your favorite Netflix show, no matter how good it is, disappears by season 3? That's because in the contract, the step contract, they'll tell the showrunner, the creator, you get to season 5, we're going to pay you $30 million. Not that much. We'll give you an $8 million signing for coming with us. They'll cancel before
they'll never. I think Netflix has a 3-season
and you're
limit,
out,
right?
Yeah. Where networks did not do that. Right. If you were successful, they kept you going and going. Just like Seinfeld, it didn't matter. They had to pay everybody $1 million an episode. Right. They kept it on.
They
sold that, and they still recouped their money back no matter what they were paying them.
Yeah, and now they're completely hiding the numbers.
Mm-hmm. But I think that will change because now Netflix is advertising.
We don't have sophisticated machines to count things anymore.
No, we don't.
They're just if we could only get a computer or something like that,
like an AI thing.
Yeah.
Well, there was the big controversy that just happened because I think it was Eisner who just came back to run Disney
out of retirement.
There has been reports. Was it he or somebody in the room who said the writers will start losing their homes in about a month? We'll keep the pressure on till they lose their houses.
Ooh. I'm going to say this. I don't know if he said it. He said that the writers and the actors were being unrealistic on what they were asking for. He has a $55 million deal for 2 years coming out of retirement. That's really realistic. But
Wow, say that again.
he gets $55 million for 2 years, and he came out of retirement to get that.
And he says the writers are being unrealistic. Wow.
I just want to say I will come out of retirement for the same money. It's just anyone out there.
Yeah. And stuff. And then supposedly it was somebody on the board that says, we'll just wait till October when everyone's starting to lose their houses and their apartments. And then it got, I think, pulled because they said that nobody said that. But that there again, if somebody is saying that, no, we're not going to wait till October, but then in August, start talking again. You know? Because even once the strike is over, there's still a repercussion of everybody getting back together. Everyone has to get all the deals in place. Then writers can start writing again. People can start going out on auditions and stuff. The process is just not going to be okay. You know, you have to prep for, if something was going already, you still have to prep again to get everybody back. Because most of the times everybody just walked away.
One thing I was thinking about, you work so closely with the actors. Most of your work comes from half hours. You've worked in hours, you worked on film, but your expertise is in half hours. And you take care of all the actors all the time. One of the things that the actors would like to be addressed is they will be sent 4 pages of dialogue, and be told to put themselves on camera. And then they will take that footage and send it to the casting, but they don't get compensated for putting themselves on tape, all the rehearsal time.
It used to be everybody would come in,
yes,
you'd sign your sheet, and you'd leave. But because of...
When you say sign your sheet and leave, what do you mean by that?
There was like a sign-in sheet that I think got sent, and you were compensated.
So as an actor, you would arrive on the lot.
You'd arrive on the lot. You'd go to the casting office. You'd sign in, and that's where you would do the audition.
That's where you would do right. And now you're not only rehearsing, you're putting yourself on tape.
Right. But that happened because of COVID.
Technology.
COVID.
Oh, COVID. I was going to go, technology? No. COVID. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That happened, because they did somewhat of that before COVID, because like if you had an actor in New York, things.
And it's funny that we use the phrase tape.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no tape no
There's
more.
no tape.
Yeah.
I'm not sure do they say disc? They just call it a record. Yeah.
They
just
audition.
record a video. Video yourself. Why don't you just go video yourself?
Video.
Just video. Just AI yourself.
Now, is your production office still intact? Did you have to put everything away?
We did half and half, meaning because we were in prep. So will
you explain prep for the writers out there?
Oh, we were in prep. Well, the writers are first.
Writers are first, so they're there for a while.
Right, so they're there. And then we, as the production, come in and start prepping, get the set.
Everybody's paperwork.
Yes.
My wife likes to characterize this as starting a business.
Yes.
And every time you stop, you really have to start all over again from the roots up, create something. And every time you stop, you have to go back and do that.
Yes.
Right. So lots of times you leave, you don't even know if you're coming back. That used to be the old days. At the end of the season, you would have to, take all personal stuff home.
Yeah, you always take all personal stuff. Everything else you kind of leave. Most of the time, you'll leave the set standing if they're standing. And then if your show doesn't get picked up, then you usually they bring everybody back really quick for like 2 weeks, get it all done. And
your crew, your people. Done. Yeah. The writers don't come back. No. It's just below the line will come back. And
if they settle this thing in 15 minutes from now, which they could, you're still looking at this really long setup time for the things to get up and going. And I think people think, well, good, if they settle it, we'll have new shows in September 1st. That's not going to be the case. Right. You will hear a lot of this from studio to studio.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean it's going to go faster.
Right. Yes. It's like you said, it's a business. When the strike is over, it's like everybody has to vote on what has been decided. Then that information has to get out to the studios, to the production, to everything. And then you have to take what is being requested and being implemented, and you have to now rearrange how you sort of budget working time, whatever whatever they decide. And then you have to like reach out to your caterers. You have to reach out to the businesses that have loaned you stuff. They're in the same boat because we're not working. We're not giving them anything. So it is like when the strike is over, everybody is starting from scratch again.
Right.
Depending on where they were. Even if you were in a show in the middle of the thing, you still have to make sure the equipment is still working. And then you have everybody trying to scramble for everything at the same time.
Yes.
Let me ask producers, what's their position now? Are they feeling like they have to wait this out, make people sweat a little bit, or do they want to get back to work? Do they go to the streaming people and say, listen, we feel what? Are they sort of sided with doing their work rather than letting all this time go by?
Well, you have the AMPT, and then you have the studios and stuff, and right now, and then you have the producers. Most of the producers are definitely on, to me, the writers and the SAG stuff.
Are they publicly, they said?
Well, because part of the thing is a lot of those writers and actors are producers.
Sure.
So, yes. So, I mean, I don't think
I'm looking for a business head guy who has to answer to the streaming, his streaming boss.
Oh, who's he? That would be studio head then, I would say. Not studio head, but studio people. Who are they leaning towards? I have an example of this maybe that can answer that question, Terry. Along Barham, where Universal is, the writers and actors walk up and down the sidewalk because when you're striking, you cannot be still. You have to keep moving. And there were all these beautiful trees that gave them shade. Yes. Universal Studios cut those trees down to the bone. And
for shade.
You do not mess with writers and actors because they checked. There was no permit pulled by the city. It was the studio.
Yeah.
So there's your answer, Terry. They're with the higher ups because they cut the shade for the writers and the actors. Those terrible people.
Right. But here's the thing. Yes, the studio is on the bad side.
The bad side, yes.
The bad side.
We'll call it the bad side.
But here's the thing. Though, like, even the underlings of the studio people, I'm going to say this, probably next month, they might be affected because since there is no work, there's nothing being generated. Why do you have your assistants on?
Yeah.
Why do you have... Yeah. So you're going to start letting those people go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another group that is out of work. It's not only the writers and the actors that are out of work. It's the entire production. It's the assistants to some of those people in the studios that it's like, oh, we don't need your services anymore.
Kathy, there does not seem to be an end in sight.
Not for the month of July. I'll take it week by week and stuff because right now everybody is energized. They are getting a lot more support. And that's why I think in August there will be more, I'm hoping there'll be more pressure from the state of California, from, just individuals themselves going after the advertisers going, I don't have any shows to watch, yet you want me to buy your advertising.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
If you're not going to support me, why do I support
Have those
you?
Fun premieres with
the AI.
Eisner.
And Disney, for one of their Disney movies, their Disney characters walk down the red carpet.
You get out of town. They I'm so angry. Also, there's something about the Barbie premiere, something like they were negotiating.
Oh, they negotiated
and they did it a week. Yeah, they did their premiere early, but didn't tell them that they were going to do the premiere early. That way they got the actors. But the Oppenheimer actors walked off the red carpet. The strike happened when they were on the red carpet, I think in London.
Wow.
And they walked right off. They walked off.
And all that was left there was Goofy. He can't go. He's under contract.
Yes.
Kathy, thank you so much for taking time to be with Terry and I in explaining Strike 2023. And we're going to get through this.
Yes, we will.
We're going to help each other out. Mm-hmm. And thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Woo!
That's a wrap for the Writers Hangout. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, like, and thrive. Till we get to hang out again, keep writing. The world needs your stories. The Writers Hangout is sponsored by the Page International Screenwriting Awards. Executive producer, Kristin Overn. Producers, Terry Sampson and Sandy Adomaitis. Music by Ethan Stoller.